In the land of words with Flara, there's a tasty one, chingadera. Its spice is bold, beyond compare, but use it wisely, with great care. It dances on the tongue, debonair, but might cause a stir, so beware. Chingadera is fun, a word so rare. Just be mindful when you share.
Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Time. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook. Today is Wednesday, October 9, Hump Day. And as usual, we have a small selection of news and headlines and stories to share with you. And I'm so excited to be here because it's cooler in the mornings. I don't know if this is temporary. I hope it isn't. I hope the weather is starting to shift, even if it's just a little bit. My yarn stash talked to me yesterday and said, hey, Paco, go back to making crochet big items because now the weather is starting to allow for it. So I'm excited about that. I hope you're having a good morning. I have all kinds of interesting things to share with you. So as always, if you have something important to share, please add a capital letter Q and we'll take a look at it. If you are watching live for the first time and would like a little friendly welcome, just type a capital letter N for new, and we'll be happy to give you a morning cheer. Let's take a look at the headlines. I like our first headline. I really, really do. Mayor Luis Munguia delivered on one of his campaign promises, removing all food vendors from Puerto Vallarta's main plaza. While some praise the vendors as a tourism magnet, it is worth recalling that they represent an unfair competition to the many established eateries in the area that pay taxes and have permits and have been there for years. Then there's the issue of cleanliness. Every time the vendors set up shop on the plaza on Thursday nights, they leave the place a little filthy, shall we say. And what about the fact that the vendors used electricity from City Hall, which resulted in excessive bills for the city and fines from the Federal Electricity Commission? And last but not least, vendors in public plazas are forbidden by the city's own laws. The past administration used to argue that proceeds from the vendors benefited public agencies such as DIF, the Integral Family Development Institute, but we never saw any transparent information as to how the monies were being distributed or how or where, and many suspected that someone in the city was holding on to these proceeds. So good for Mayor Munguia for removing those vendors from the main plaza. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what's going to happen in other plazas? Well, this remains to be seen. There's a lot of vendors in the Pitillal Plaza, and they have been there for years. There are vendors in Plaza Hidalgo, so we'll just have to wait and see. One way or another, if there's a law behind a decision, then it needs to be followed Otherwise, what's the point of having the law in place? And speaking of laws, a Public Works Commission has been instituted by Mayor Munguia, and its goal will be to prioritize and deliver all municipal public work projects during his administration. It's unclear to me whether this is a brand new commission because he just extended the number of commissions there are, or whether he's just renewing an existing commission with new members, new people responsible of getting the work done. And of course, another campaign promise from Mayor Munguia was the construction or improvement of 100 streets for each year of his administration. And now that he is in office, many locals are wondering what type of pavement will be favored. Of course, cobblestone streets are the tradition, but they are also a challenge for vehicles. And asphalt is not as expensive as hydraulic concrete, but the latter is the best option. Or Mayor Munguia and his team may choose to utilize one method over another on a case-by-case basis. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, I would like you to meet Guadalupe Gomez Basulto. She is the new director of Puerto Vallarta's Isla Rio Cuale-based Cultural Institute. She is a university professor specialized in arts, education, and humanities, and has proven experience in the field producing events for the local branch of the Guadalajara University, such as the film festivals and whatnot. So I hope she will be an effective addition to Luis Munguia's new administration. We wish her well, and we hope to see changes in that dependency in the near future. In other news, it is sad to learn that the Bobadilla public pool is still closed to the public. The Olympic pool has been a vital space for sports and recreation in the city, and the article did not specifically explain if what is holding the pool from reopening is the lack of water or whether administrative or infrastructural changes are planned. But the bottom line is that while Mayor Munguia has not made a statement to the fact, it is becoming increasingly clear to many that Puerto Vallarta was left with no money to operate by the previous administration. And this is not going to improve until the new budget arrives in the coming year. So as much as Munguia has made campaign promises, we do not expect that any major projects will be initiated in our city before the end of the year. And that is truly unfortunate, but that is just the way it is. All I can say is I hope that those that are responsible for the situation will be indeed found and asked to explain themselves and go through the whole legal process they rightfully deserve. Let's take a look at this. This Thursday, we conclude our Mexican independence-inspired exploration of Mexican music with Mexico's Soulful Storytellers, where we will delve into the lives and legacies of 5 influential traditional songwriters: Agustín Lara, Consuelo Velázquez, Armando Manzanero, José Alfredo Jiménez, and Juan Gabriel. We will explore how each composer's life and surroundings shaped their timeless creations. You'll also hear iconic songs from each of these legendary composers, some of which are sure to be familiar to you. As always, the meeting is at 5 p.m. at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork. Celebrate Mexico's independence by celebrating our music. Celebrate with us. And be sure to follow our Facebook page for more details about these events. Da-da-da-da. Now let's take a look at the weather. Put on your overalls, fuckface. It is autumn. Huh. That's what our snarky weatherman has to say. It is 28 degrees. Humidity is a little high at 80%, just a little high. And our weather forecast for today says that we're going to have partly cloudy skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 61%, and a high temperature of 30 and a low of 23. Then tomorrow we can expect mostly clear skies in the morning with rain in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 34%, a high of 31 and a low of 22. And then Friday, humid with mostly clear skies throughout the day, a chance of rain of only 20%, a high of 32 and a low of 23. And moving right along, I have excellent news for you. We had talked about this earlier this week. The Day of the Dead and Cardboard Fair in Guadalajara. This is an annual tradition that goes back for over 70 years. It is back in our capital city. Think about this outdoor marketplace as a one-stop shop for everything you need for your Day of the Day altar, celebration, decoration, you name it. There are approximately 300 vendors to choose from. And we went last year and had a blast walking around, looking at the many traditional items that we saw at this event. This year, the fair will be open to the public from October 15 to November 7, yes, from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. at the Morelos Park. I remember when we went, it was a short Uber ride from the historical center of the city. And once we got there, there was so much to look at. So if you're going to be in Guadalajara anytime between October 15 and 17, I highly recommend stopping at this beautiful market. And it dawns on me, I'm going to be in Guadalajara during the period. So I think a little bit of shopping is on the list. And speaking of Day of the Dead, I'm happy to announce that Oculto has scheduled a public dinner with a Day of the Dead inspired menu. This public dinner will take place on November 2, on the actual Day of the Dead, starting at 7 p.m. So if you would like to enjoy a traditional Day of the Dead meal, and the menu is already listed in the event, I strongly recommend this one. So give it a look, and I am sure that Carmen will. In fact, I think Carmen told me that she's joining me in the spotlight a week from today to talk more about what she's going to offer in this special event. And while we're at it, we might as well talk about my own presentation of Day of the Dead, which will happen on October 29, a few days prior to Day of the Dead, from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork. As usual, this is going to be a lot of fun because we're going to take a look at all the traditional stuff that you would want to know. Why the skulls? What do the skulls have to do with the religion and the cosmology of the Aztec, and all kinds of fascinating things you may want to know. So I'm excited about this. We had a lot of fun producing this presentation last year, and I'm happy to bring it back. What else do we have? Well, as long as we're tooting our own horn, of course, I just talked about this in a little video. It's going to be a blast. If you are around tomorrow, please feel free to join us. And of course, last but not least, if you're around this afternoon, we're going to have a great spotlight at the Joint Boutique Hotel at 4 p.m. Lawrence Goodwin from El Rey Lounge is going to join us via webcam. But Peggy Nelson, who's the president of the International Friendship Club, will be there in person. So if you have any questions about the activities that take place at the International Friendship Club, this is a good opportunity to stop by, ask questions, meet the president of the organization, and be informed. Again, this is happening in person today at 4 o'clock at the Joint Boutique and Cowork. I hope to see you there. And now we get a chance to take a look at your comments. Yay! Lots of good mornings, at least one good afternoon from our dear friend David, who's watching from the Boston metro area. And I see, boom, boom, boom. I see many good mornings. Thank you so very much. The video describing what's beneath Mexico City was very interesting. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I loved finding it. And whenever I find something that I think you will enjoy, I am happy to share here. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Oh, how fun. Michael, we and our friends are looking forward to having dinner with you on December 31st. This goes to Michael Buford, I am sure. Yay. Michael says, book now if you can. Can you believe it is that time of the year in which we have to start booking places for New Year's Eve dinners? My goodness. The fall is right around the corner. Paco, thanks for recommending the Beneath Mexico City YouTube presentation. It is fascinating. Thank you. Thank you. I always like to get your feedback on connections that we try to make here at Coffee and Headlines. I appreciate that. Paco, do you know if there is parking at the Joint? I know that there is not. Unfortunately, the Joint is located in a part of town where public parking is not, well, there are parking lots, and sometimes you can get lucky and find a parking spot nearby, but unfortunately, there is no parking available for guests at the Joint. And speak of the Joint, here is our friend Eric, who is the owner and director and big inspiration at the Joint Boutique Hotel. Eric, it is great to see you, and I look forward to my broadcast from the Joint this afternoon. And this brings us to the end of today's broadcast. As always, I am so grateful for your support, for your ideas, for your companionship, and I am equally grateful for those of you that watch later. Hello to all of you, and give us thumbs up or share or otherwise subscribe to our content. It goes a long way in helping us stay afloat and stay prosperous, bringing all this information to you on a daily basis, except for Sundays. So, if you're around this afternoon, I'll see you for the spotlight at 4. If not, I will see you tomorrow morning. Have an awesome day. Stay kind and stay in touch.